Okay, so let's just go through a couple items, and I wanted to pick out gear items that maybe the average guy doesn't know about, or maybe this is something, if you've been doing a lot of scouting for a couple years, you can add to the arsenal and be super happy about. Anyways, I obviously start with my bag. This is the QU 1850 Icon. I've got a video on here of more detailed review of why I like it and what it does, but that's a scouting bag. It's a lot bigger profile, typically because I'm bringing the camera and some water, but you know, it carries super light, and it is super light. Let's talk about footwear. Obviously, like, I'm always a hiker boot guy. The Keens are what I wear. I think this is like a Duran something too. Wear these most of the year, but I will actually switch and wear these Solomons a little bit more, just because they are a touch stiffer. Now, with boot care, I need to do a video on this, but a aftermarket pair of insoles instead of essentially the cardboard. Let me grab that. Okay, like I was saying, the aftermarket insoles. If you look here, there is a clear difference of, this is what comes in the Keen boot, and it's pretty much cardboard, versus the aftermarket insoles. They got a lot more cushioning, they've got a lot more support. You know, that's key for keeping good care of your feet. That's something that's actually really popular in the hiker community, but not so much the hunter community. Moving on with foot care. These are, I'll link these or shoot a screenshot into this video. These are like Injinji socks, and as weird as this sounds, if you're a person that gets a lot of blisters or hot spots between your feet, I actually had an endurance athlete guy recommend these. They're like a sock liner, and I don't know if you can tell at this distance, but they're almost like a toe sock. They go in between your toes. I get a real hot spot between like my third and fourth toe, and so these cut those down, and I will do those if I'm walking, let's say 6-7 miles a day, 3 or 4 mile scout, not a big deal. But when I'm putting on the miles, these actually really help take care of my feet. I do alpaca socks. I did another video on these, but these are the Prevails by, I think, Altera is the company. Really like those. It's a midweight sock. Use them all the time for hunting as well. Moving on, this is something I'm trying to get better at, is some sort of like wind indicator, and obviously then I'm wind mapping these locations, or at least noting, hey, we had a north wind today, but it was kind of blowing a lot more out of the west in this particular ridge system. I hunt a lot of hill country. Cisco is a guy that talks about wind scouting and wind mapping these locations, and so I'm trying to be like him. Moving on, Jetboil. I like to come back midday, and that leads me to this product right here. Any sort of like instant quick coffee that actually tastes good. Tioga Rise coffee is pretty darn good as far as a quick mix up. Now, pro tip, if you stop by McDonald's and they got those little creamers, toss a few of those bad boys in the cup holder of the truck, so then you can add those to the coffee, or I guess if you're gonna bring your own. But that's the pro tip, is take some creamers from the gas station or McDonald's. That way your mid-morning coffee is awesome. So I forgot to mention this about instant coffee and scouting, but it's like a morale boost, you know, a little warm liquid plus a caffeine boost. Those days when you're going to take a midday lunch break, I do like a hot cup of coffee, and it does wonders just to, you know, keep you going and keep you getting those miles, because not every weekend you can be gone scouting, it seems like, and so you got to make the most when you get the green light from the wife, girlfriend, or whatever. Another tip that a lot of guys don't think about, and is something I'm a firm believer in, is any sort of fingerless gloves. And that is because I'm pulling my phone out and I am putting in notes or marking stand locations, and I need to be able to work my thumbs and my fingers, and my hands don't get cold. You're walking, so it's not like I need a super super warm glove. I actually really like a wool glove off Amazon that's $5. I've talked about that plenty in my YouTube content. Quickly wrapping this up is any sort of like Carhartt type material vest. This particular one is a Wolverine, but obviously, like, I'm a big like hoodie wearer, and then I'll bring this, and that tends to be enough even down into the 20s. I don't get cold while I'm scouting, but that material, big fan of that. A couple pockets to store stuff in. Something I scout in is my Nomad pants, because I really like the stretch and pocket structure on those. But I would be curious, I'm kind of looking for a budget pair. I have a pair of Carhartt Flex pants that are like a 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10. The front pockets suck on them for getting stuff in and out, and the phone, you have to store it in the side hip. They're terrible. I'm not a huge fan of those. But let me know if you guys have a hiker or a cheaper cargo style pant that you guys like for scouting, because that's something I'm interested in. Appreciate you guys watching. I just have wrapped up the film. It's going to be a good one. I got to still cut up the intro, but that may have to wait. I got some addictions editing to get to. Guys, appreciate you watching. Team Harder and Bucks, we're out.